Hi, Karen with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a scrapbook layout for Kitaholic Kits, and I'm using the March main kit and one of the sprays from the mixed media kit as well. I could not wait to get started to use the Lindy's sprays this month. So initially, to create this layout, I have grabbed some things from my stash, this brick stencil and my modeling paste, and I'm smushing through just to give myself some lumpy bumpy feel to the background. I am aiming to have a vertical type layout, but I'm also not doing a complete straight vertical line here. I want to mix it up a little bit, so there's a little bit of difference to the modeling paste against the spray once you see that in a moment. So I'm sort of moving from the top around to the right, then back over to the left again and finishing in the middle. You'll see how it comes. You'll see once it's all together why I'm doing that. Now I have pre-gessoed my white cardstock as well because I know I want to use a lot of water with my ink as well, and I really love that's my preferred way of doing that. It is definitely a personal choice. There are a lot of people who don't like using gesso, but it is a fan favorite for me. All right, so I've left that to dry naturally. I really wanted it to be super, super dry before I started adding on the spray. And I'm just starting from the very top of the page, putting some spray down and then adding in some water to allow it to move around the page. And you'll see there just why I love gesso so much is because I went a little bit outside of where I was planning on going with that ink, and I was able to add a little bit more water and smush that away with a wet tissue. So it was perfect for that. And if I had not had gesso on my page, I would not have been able to do that. It would have soaked through very, very quickly. I love how when you use a stencil amongst ink sprays, it gives a really lovely feel and pooling sensation around some of that area. So I let that dry naturally as well because I wanted to see and still have some of those darker areas where a little bit of the cardstock was a little bit crumpled by the water. All right, so I went with the blue today as my background to be a really big contrasting color against those gorgeous pink and sort of watermelon-y color hearts. Now I have fussy cut those out from one of the pattern papers from the page, and they are going to be basically the bulk of my page today. As you can see there, it is actually starting to look quite busy as I put down those hearts. But it makes such a wonderful, I think, a gorgeous little piece to look through as we go down the page. So I do keep my embellishing to a minimum for this particular layout because of all those hearts that I've put on there. I create and don't put any more blue on this page because like I said, I wanted that blue to be an absolute contrast color against the pink. So as I'm fiddling there, trying to work out where exactly I want to put those hearts, I've decided what my titles are going to be. I'm just using one of the words in the XOXO from the sticker sheet, the thicker sheet, in that gorgeous gold. And as I'm also doing that, I will start to pop those hearts up on some foam for some added dimension on the page. And I do put the photos up on foam as well. While I was fiddling around with all the foam, which took a little bit of time, I've realized the background was not quite doing it for me. And you know what? It was absolutely, if you watch me regularly or you see some of my layouts on Instagram, I use splatters all the time, and it was missing splatters for me. So I'm coming in here with some white Dina Wakley gloss spray. And for this one, I also did dry naturally as well. I say it all the time. The gloss spray from Dina Wakley is acrylic paint, and it will bubble if you use a heat gun over the top of it. Sometimes I like that effect, but I didn't want that for this one, so I do allow that to dry naturally. And because I'm going for the gold letters for the titles, I'm adding in some gold spray from my stash as well. That's Kaiser Mist there. The Dina Wakley spray is also from in-store. I'm pretty sure there is still some in stock as well. And I will absolutely have all the links below in the description box of where you can get this month's kit and access to the store as well. So I did go across that just a little bit as it was drying, just to finish off that drying with my paper towel. I was getting a little impatient. And then I just really basically got down to then re-putting this layout back together. I didn't take a photo of it, so I did play around a few more times with exactly where I wanted to put those hearts. I couldn't work out whether I wanted them to touch things or not, and generally I do have a lot of my embellishing touching each other, but I don't really do that for this one. I do give the eye a little bit of a break between some of the areas of the hearts, and I think it worked quite well. Just to put a little bit of embellishing around the photos, I'm just adding some of the Jan Hatfield flower pieces from the ephemera pack. And I do come back in here in just a moment and I do fussy cut around the flowers to get rid of some of the white border on those flowers. The white border was way too thick for this layout. I often do this with that type of ephemera. I think it's great that it comes with that because then you've got the option of do you want it or not. In this layout, it did not look right for me to have the white around those flowers. So I do fussy cut those through. And I'm just picking up these ones. The reason why I put these particular ones onto the page today is you'll see there on the hearts, that patterned paper, the hearts are all joined. So they have components and little sort of parts of the color of the next heart. So I wanted to make sure I'd incorporated that just a little bit to make sure there was cohesiveness across the embellishments and across those hearts as well. So quickly about the photos, I haven't talked about those, have I? These are my beautiful friends' daughters. This was on, I believe, one of their formal evenings, year 12, at the end of the year last year. So the one on the right is the gorgeous Sienna, and Shelby is on the left, which is her sister. And I absolutely adore these photos. They had some photographers at the formal event and got some family photos as well. And of course, I have absolutely taken those to scrap. I love scrapping these girls. I have known them ever since they were born. And I am extremely proud of both of them. Sienna started university this year, so I am absolutely super proud of her too. Yeah. All right, so to finish off the layout, I also decided I needed a little bit of color around the edges. So you will see in the close-ups of the layout that I have put a border. I used the ledger paper that was part of the kit. And I did gut it actually because I really wanted to use that paper elsewhere. And that is actually what I backed the photos with as well. So you will see that in the close-ups. And I'm just using my T-square ruler there to make sure that that line is straight. Seeing I've got quite a bit of angling going on, I wanted the titles to be straight. So I have some close-ups for you today. And as always, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you get an opportunity to play with your kit really soon and you share what you're up to in amongst our Facebook groups. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.